To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the town board meeting, December 14th, 2023. Do I have a motion to open the town board meeting?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. First item on the agenda, we have 3 public hearings tonight. Well, we have to set up 3 public hearings tonight, I should say. The first one is introductory law number 8 of 2023, a local law requiring utility companies to remove inactive and broken and replace utility poles within the town. That introductory law will become local law number 5. And the date on it?
No, you have to open the public hearing.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, John.
This isn't, we're setting up a public hearing.
No,
these are the public
Okay.
hearings.
Sorry.
I apologize. Can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye. So it's 5? It's number 5?
No.
If it's passed,
If
it
it
would
passes,
be
it'll
number
be
5.
Oh, well, for all purposes, it's
Sorry.
we're opening up it as 8.
Yeah.
No, listen, you go.
All right, anybody from the public want to speak on behalf or against this local law?
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, we think so.
It is.
You can come and get it.
Thank you.
I got it.
Yeah, so it's essentially, it gives the town and the individuals who live in the town, if they see an abandoned telephone pole, we could force the issue of getting it removed. Rather than, as you go by and you see all these zombie poles sitting all over the place. So, anybody from the public, as I said, want to speak for or against anything, any comments?
I'm for it.
For,
Show of hands.
anybody from the board have any questions?
Now, no, I don't have any questions. I think it's a great idea. Also, I see in the town from time to time, you'll see wires coming down and they're coiled up on the ground. I think when some kid come by and it just invites them to play with those wires, even though they may be.
Dead, but I think.
Attractive nuisance.
I'm assuming that the wires that come down like that are probably more of cable and
Yep.
telephone than they are.
They're
electric.
extra and they're dead, but
Yeah.
still.
All right, well, so can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And can I have a motion to
Adopt.
adopt introductory law number 8 and make it local law number 5?
Correct.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Roll call.
Do we need a roll call?
Yeah.
George?
Aye.
I'm aye. Rick?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Okay. All right, next one, can I have a motion to open up the public hearing for introductory law number 9 of 2023, amending chapter 27, administrative board training and attendance requirements of the code of the town of Goshen to ensure consistency with the town law. That will, if adopted, become local law number 6.
Okay.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody from the public want to speak on or for or against this public hearing? No, okay, anything from the board? All right, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
We need a roll call.
a motion to adopt local law number, introductory law
Oh,
number.
yeah, when you adopt, we'll do a roll call.
To adopt is a roll call.
Mhm.
Yep.
I apologize.
Now you lost us.
Now you lost me.
And
You
motion
had me
to
at- you had
adopt
me at a
local
law.
law 6.
Can I have a motion to, can I have a motion to adopt introductory law number 9 of 2023, making it local law number 6?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Now I need a roll call. George?
Aye.
I'm aye. Rick?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Alright, so ayes take it. Can I have a motion to open up introductory law number 10 of 2023, amending chapter 86 taxation of the code of the town of Goshen, opting out of the real property tax law 487 exemption?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, anybody from the public? Tom?
Can you explain what this is actually doing?
This is, solar, right?
That's correct. It
So-
essentially eliminates the ability to get a pilot or tax exemption, as it states in there.
So any new solar projects coming in, okay, the state requires us to adopt a pilot if we so choose. If we opt out of that, then anybody coming in has to pay full taxation on it.
Does it extend to other things?
No, just solar.
Just so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No. I have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
I have a motion to adopt introductory law number 10 of 2023, making it local law number 7.
So moved.
Second. We need a roll call, right? George?
Aye.
Aye. Rick?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
All right, so moved. All right. Items for discussion and action tonight. Number 1, review resolution authorizing the schedule of a public hearing consolidating the 4 town of Goshen water districts. The public hearing will be scheduled for January 11, 2024 at 7 p.m.
I do have a comment on this one.
Sure, go ahead.
The thing we're gonna have at the public hearing is one sheet that's, I think would be interesting to the people. That's the one where they, put the dollar value before and after the consolidation.
Delaware Engineering will be here for the public hearing. They will answer.
But I mean, I think it would be nice for the, be in the thing so that people can see what it is. And I think that if there's one district, the water district, I think there's one that might have problems. Mr. Dillon was, okay, we'll do that and
So,
consolidate.
so what is it that you want me to ask Delaware to do? You want me to ask them to put a side-by-side view?
And there is one in the report.
Yeah, I
There
think they
was one in
usually
the
use the
report, but
TV,
they
right?
didn't put it in this.
I have it
packet.
online, the report.
That's all, so everybody gets to see everything.
Okay.
So we'll just make sure that.
It
they
sounds,
have that in
Mary
the-
just said they have it. It's in the
I put it,
report, so.
and I put it on the website for people. It's been on the website for the last 4 months, 5 months, so
Okay.
that people could review it.
And then and it will be up there. They usually,
Yeah.
they'll.
So I-
As long as it's, and the piece of paper in here didn't have it, so.
No, this is just, yeah, for,
Okay.
All right, so do I need a motion for that?
yeah, and you need
And
a
a
roll
motion
call.
to set the public hearing for, the consolidation of the water districts for January 11, 2024.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Roll call.
Aye.
Roll call. George?
Aye.
Aye. Rick?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
So what Doug was saying before, I think also would be a good idea to have what the costs are gonna be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all
that's
gonna be
all.
covered at the public hearing.
So
That needs to
everybody
be
knows
in
what's
there.
happening.
And I think, and if we get a lot of pushback, I think the backup position is because the 3 other water districts are very close. That one's,
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get it all addressed that night.
Instead of having.
If we have to hold over the public hearing, we can.
Yeah.
The other thing I was gonna say, which I know the answer for, but the 2 districts that have sewer, they're just basically staying the same.
We're not combining the sewer district,
Nothing.
it's just water.
Water.
Just water.
Right.
All right, item number 2 is, discuss introductory law number 11 of 2023, amending chapter 27 zoning, section 10, subchapter C1F, and refer to the planning board and Orange County Planning. That is discussion of lifting the prohibition on the sale of water to only to other municipalities. I think we discussed it in length. I think we were in agreement with it, but now the next step is sending it to the planning board for their review and the Orange County Planning Department for their review.
But I do have a comment.
Sure, go ahead.
The removal of groundwater, I have a real problem as an environmental person in the past. You can never, ever trust groundwater. And you have the L3 landfill out there, so I know people say, oh, well, we can take these things out. Well, you gotta know what you're taking out before you take them out. So for that reason alone, I'm going to vote no on it.
Well, it's, I
It's
think
not-
I'm getting ahead of it.
yeah, I mean, they're all, I mean, in some respects, they're.
This is just the prohibition of, lifting the prohibition. This is not the purchase of the wells.
Okay,
That's
no,
item
no,
number-
I understand that. And then the other one is pursuant to a special permit issued by the planning board.
Yep, we're working on that too.
Well, you know,
We changed that to the town board.
Did we?
Well, yeah, that was the feedback from the last
Last
meeting.
one, okay, well,
So
that's
we
fine.
did, so,
I just
yeah,
looking at what I got here,
it's a.
So Doug, on this item number 2,
yes.
all it is us sending it over for the planning board for them to review it, give us their comments, the same with the Orange County Planning Board, their comments.
And what I did, what we did as a group here was took comments from last meeting, which were to change the planning board part,
Yep.
and then there was also the addition of, the so it's a
I
two-part thing.
must have the old piece here then.
Because
Yeah, sorry.
that's what I was gonna say, the
Where's your
one that I
tablet?
got,
It's on your tablet.
Yeah,
You do, you have the one that says planning board,
I
Right.
know it's a planning board.
or do you have the one that says town board?
The town board will be on your tablets.
right.
yeah, I
The one
don't-
I have here that I got.
Your own.
well, nonetheless, you're not, right now, you're really,
Anyway, it's
yeah,
town
so
board.
you got it, okay.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yep, and then we'll hear from them, and then,
Sure.
you know, so, are you setting a public hearing 45 days out?
No,
Okay,
just let them get theirs, they'll get, we'll get through the next 2 meetings.
Okay.
And then in January, we'll set the public hearing, knowing that their comments are coming back.
okay, sounds good.
So can I have a motion to, well, do I need a motion to send it? Nope.
No.
Okay, so we're just gonna send it, all right.
It's almost a courtesy send right now, because we're not obligated to send yet, because you haven't, well, I guess we are, I mean.
Yeah, we're obligated under
Yeah, I mean.
town law.
Okay.
Item number 3, review and approve the town board minutes for November 27th. I ain't seen any issues with them, but I don't know if anybody else has anything.
I just had the one, I guess it was a typo, LED, L-E-A-D, first page. First page, second from the bottom, sentence. There was concern about lead.
So that's why you have a school teacher on the board.
George?
Oh, no finger thing.
All right, so can I have a motion to approve the board minutes making that change?
You got something else? Sorry.
There's something else? No, no, no.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Discuss and approve the scheduling of the reorg meeting for Tuesday, January 2nd at 7 PM. Just,
I,
Need a
I,
motion.
yeah.
I advise you there's potential that I may have to appear via some other way than in person for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much we need, you know, I'm not
It's
sure.
ministerial mostly, so the work would be,
I
my work would
will
be done.
distribute it to everybody prior to the meeting, but essentially it's the same as last year. We made no changes.
Yeah, you just, yeah, so I just wanted to make sure.
Yep,
that was-
I understand. I know you want to get it down.
Okay.
Plus, we'll save a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
You are, this guy is.
Way to start your year off.
Okay.
Can I get a motion
You just hear that
I
guy.
don't know what is
to?
going on.
Mary told you to do this because I told her I'd be done by 7:30.
This is not on me, what's going on?
Oh, you're a good guy.
Public comment, anybody else? Peanut gallery, you guys got it?
Can I get a motion to approve the scheduling of the reorg meeting Tuesday, January 2nd at 7 PM?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, now we get into some time over here. So we're gonna review and discuss the contract for the purchase of Echo Lake Road, for the sum of $95,000 and, 38 Echo Lake Road and 12 Echo Lake Road. As I stated in the past, the hydrologist came back. We're fully aware of the fact that one well is completely potable. The other well has, some light leads in it that would require treatment to become potable. We have a letter from the hydrologist stating that. So now we just need to, well, George had questions on it.
Yeah.
Were your questions answered?
Oh, you were gonna address them?
Yeah, I'll address them now, because they were asked on
All right, I'll turn it
the
over to you again.
record. So, the two main ones that were left, remaining when I talked to George were about recording it. You know, the clause, I think it's 35 or 36, about purchaser shall not record this memorandum and contract, and
35.
35. So the issue with that is about clean title. When you record contracts, purchase of that, that particular contract should be recorded because it affects title. That's the information I was given by, Larry Walensky, who, has done more closings and more of that stuff than anybody, and he's on the seller side of it, so that information comes directly from him. The other piece was the conflict. Top of the contract, there's a bracketed portion that states about the, representations made therein in the contract, and then 36 or 37, I don't remember if something was pulled out of there, 36 or 37 is in conflict with that.
It's, are you talking about the plain language?
Plain language, yeah,
It's
plain language, but it's at the top of the I'm talking to the folks that aren't.
It's 39.
39, thanks, George. It starts at the top of the contract bracketed, and then it states it again in 39, and they're in conflict. So, in getting the answer, they didn't have an answer. I told them that we're gonna have this meeting tonight, and either that, one of the two clauses is gonna be removed. It should be the top clause, 39 should remain in there.
Yeah.
And, or there's gonna be an addendum to it, which just states that the clauses are in conflict, and 39 is the clause that is holding. That's all. So it's either gonna be removing the top or adding something up. I just figured I would give a courtesy to the other side to make sure that if we go forward with it, and then we'll decide on it. So if you guys approve it, it's approved conditioned upon those clauses not being in conflict.
So can we, what do we do?
Well,
Can we vote?
you can vote, you absolutely can vote. I mean, we're removing, I'm just saying, the contract that's before you has them still in there. So, if you approve it, it's conditioned upon those clauses not being in conflict. You can't have both of those clauses in there because, so, the plain language
Right,
basically.
I got you, it's
Okay.
a contradictory statement.
Yeah.
The
I just-
contract becomes contradictory for those two statements.
There's two attorneys that are representing the seller. I got a hold of one of them in light of our conversations, and the other one I was not able to get live on the phone.
This is a concern for you, so, do you feel comfortable making those changes, or do you wanna hold it over until the next meeting when you have a definitive answer from the attorney?
No.
Well, the answer is given, it's just that the
Okay.
only thing I don't have is whether we're gonna remove it, or I'm adding in a phrase that acknowledges the conflict, because this is a drafted contract by them.
Correct.
So, it's whatever you wanna do, you can kick it to the next meeting, if you want a
Well, I
clean
mean,
copy.
Any comments from the board?
Well,
Yeah.
the other thing, just going back to what you were saying about the contract recording.
Yeah,
The reason why it won't be recorded is why?
this is from counsel on the other side that states that there's a clarity of title issue at times when you record this, and he states it's standard in the contracts that they put together. I can't confirm or deny whether that is
Okay,
something
but
they
we-
standardly put
But
in.
we will file title.
We're gonna be searching
Right.
title,
Yeah.
so it's,
So we're gonna do a title search on this. If we decide to move forward, we're gonna do a title search on
Yeah.
both parcels.
survey and the title.
Survey and title.
The only thing that, basically what the clause states is that you don't file, a lot of things you file with the county clerk, so it's for record keeping purposes, wills, contracts, real estate closings, things of that nature.
So they don't want, so if I understand, they just don't want the contract, they don't want the contract filed with the county clerk until after the closing, essentially.
No, they don't want, yes, right, because the title search, if you file this
Right.
before the title search, it's gonna screw up the title, because it's gonna look like the property's been sold. Property isn't sold till the closing
Closing,
happens.
okay.
So then eventually it will be recorded?
It's part of it's part of the sale of the property.
I don't know if the contract probably wouldn't be
No,
filed with the county.
no,
But
it's-
title will be filed with the county.
Correct, which shows the
Okay.
change of so if you do this before the title search happens and the closing, then it would show us as essentially owners of a property that we haven't
Closed on.
closed on yet,
Yeah,
and the
okay,
title
gotcha.
wouldn't be clean. That's the way it was explained to me. If that's not an acceptable answer, I can spend more time on it, but all I'm gonna do is look it up and get the same, presumably same response.
Well, as long as you can tell us that definitively, the contract doesn't mean anything after we close. That portion of it, the title will be filed with the county clerk's office.
Yes,
So the contract doesn't have to be filed.
no,
Okay.
the contract's essentially an agreement to agree as to a closing date.
All right.
So-
Also a survey,
Survey and title would be, and they're already lined up, I'm not gonna, I wasn't, they're queued
Pull the trigger
up,
on
which
it,
we
right.
talked, but I'm not gonna pull the trigger until this goes through, obviously, so.
Right.
And then that will dictate the time frame of which we operate. It should be quick, because the title was done 8 years ago, and we know it hasn't changed hands, and the survey was done even less than that, so.
All right, any other comments from the board? Rick?
No.
Doug?
Are we gonna have a public hearing on this purchase? Or is it?
It's an acquisition, we don't have to have a public
Okay,
hearing.
well then let me say my words tonight.
Sure, go ahead.
The here's a little history. The L3 landfill was opened in 1964. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation wasn't created until 1970. Health Department didn't have a health department at all until 1970, and they didn't get really together until the end of 1971. So there was no oversight. Mr. Turry Sr., Al Turry Sr., bought the land, people could dump stuff on it. He had an excavating company in Goshen, and he took the stuff out, dug a hole, and put it in. In 1993, and by the way, and after that, he sold it to members of the mafia, the Bino family. And they were convicted of,
He actually sold it to the Milo family, but
okay, whatever.
Thomas Milo purchased it.
Okay. But they were, it was an investigation, and I shared this with Joe, I love the title too. There was a teacher in high school in Middletown who had a class, and he thought, there's something for us to look at in Orange County, landfills. And they started looking at this, and they interviewed people, and said, oh yeah, well, we didn't know this, we didn't know that. They looked at Walk Hill, the employees they interviewed, and they made a 54-minute film. It was titled Garbage, Gangsters, and Greed. Now, this landfill out here from 1964 to 1975, the United States did not outlaw the use of ink, like lead and ink, until 1975, and lead paint and everything else. So it was put in comic books, magazines, because it had beautiful color and all those things. It's in that landfill. Copious amounts of stuff. The other thing is, these people who owned it had connections outside the state. Supposedly they brought in truckloads of stuff. We don't know what was in it. And I do know this. The village, when the DEC, they had what's called a village dump. It went back in the 1940s and 50s when I was growing up in the village. And you burn your papers in a container, and then once every 2 or 3 months you put all the ashes, you put that in a bag and take it to the dump as well. So anyway, the village dump, they found the DEC, I think it was 2007 or 8 or whatever it was. It had to be dug up, all of it up, carted down to the state. And they did it. And it had a huge hole. And then after that, they of course put in the expansion of their sewer plant, which they charged the town of Goshen 40% more for our utilization. We went to arbitration, we won, because it was the cost of digging all that stuff out that was the problem. But anyway, that just shows an example of how much lead and other things were put into our land. In 1993, the DEC held that they wanted to go from 15 acres to 17 more acres. They did not get approval to do it. And also the county, which had a landfill that started in 1970, they wanted, and they shut theirs down as well in 93. And we started going to transfer stations. So to me, as an environmentalist in a large chemical corporation, I wouldn't trust that far down the throat. So I will be voting no, okay, just based on the health of lead in children, brain development in children. And you don't know, and also I think that we're setting ourselves up for, well, go on the news and you see it tonight. If you were at Camp Lejeune from 1954 to 1983, and you call us, we'll get you money. And that's what these lawyers do. And so, what are we going to do? What are we going to do in 10, 15, it won't happen on our watch, 10 or 15 years hence. We're pulling water out of there, we think we got the lead out, and all of a sudden we find arsenic or something else in it. I just think it's, Amy's Kitchen decided not to use those 4 wells. And that's why they spent $33 million to put a water line and a sewer line to the city of Middletown. So I think for us to take the water out and sell it,
Your question here,
yeah. Yes.
a question,
Joe.
I see your point, and it's, I think you're right. Have they done any more extensive testing lately for things like mercury?
They tested lead, I think, but you know what?
Because it sounds bad.
We don't know because it was built before the DEC and they did what they wanted to do. And when, in 1993, they talked about bringing truckloads of stuff in and they didn't know what was in the trucks. See? So, I mean, I think it's not, you know. So anyway, I think that we're putting the town's citizens at risk from lawsuits, maybe 10, 15, who knows? But,
And maybe the health of certain people, if there are other things there that.
Well, anyway, I mean, just my opinion. But,
No, I know what you're saying.
But I was the environmental manager for a chemical plant, and we would never touch it. So anyway, so my thought, but anyway.
All right, gotcha, understood.
Okay.
Okay. Rick, do you have anything?
No, not.
All right, so for clarity purposes, I'll just share a little of Doug's thoughts. I agree and disagree, and that's why, you know, we all have our own opinions. First of all, the landfill is sealed, both on the bottom and the top. Okay, leachate comes out of it that we dispose of, or they dispose of. So the contamination into the ground is minute, if anything. Whatever's in there is not coming out. We don't know if it's affecting the water, but if it is, it's also affecting the water of everybody that we've approved along that way in the last 10, 15 years, and nobody's complained of anything coming out. And there are many, many wells and stuff over there. But
you know, when they built it, they did not line it underneath, because it was done in 1964, the DEC was not there to tell them what to do. So I don't know where that information's coming from, but it's wrong. Anyway,
again,
we're
understood. I mean,
okay.
listen, at the end of the day, should we choose to go forward with this, we are obviously not going to lead it with a blind eye and not look at it. It's going to be treated, it's going to be on top of it, and you know, who knows how much we're going to be spending of it, because the agreement that we have to purchase the Amy's Kitchen line, originally Amy's Kitchen would be using 300,000 gallons a day of that water. That line has changed, as we're all aware. It's not going to be a soup line anymore. It's only going to be a pizza and burrito line, and they're only going to use 100,000 gallons. So we have 200,000 gallons of water to supply into that district that we're creating. So and the line to Middletown is 12 inches. We have an agreement for 300,000 gallons a day. That line can do 1.2 million gallons a day. So if we need to increase, I'm sure we can lean on Middletown, and you know, we're buying water from them. They're going to give us the water they have.
What's the latest? Is Amy's not going to come, or are they going to?
There. Well, let's put it this way. When we negotiated the deal for Middletown to take over the line,
Right.
there's a payment that the town is going to make. It hasn't been established yet, but the agreement with Amy's and Andy is they will take it in the form of a credit against future disposal of waste and purchase of water.
Okay.
So to me, that, in my mind, whatever that number is, it's somewhere between $3 and $6 million to reimbursement. If they're taking it as a credit, that would indicate to me they're definitely going. Now, everybody has their opinion on it. I can only tell you what they tell me. I think Andy Berliner is a straight arrow. You met him. Me and Rory have gone out there.
All indications from legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a straight arrow.
He's a straight arrow, and they are coming. They're coming. They're getting. They're preparing. You know, the cost of money is expensive. The equipment, by going from a soup line to a burrito line, was a change up of the equipment, and that's all coming out of Italy. So there was production delays there, but for the purposes of moving forward, I believe they're coming. So That's all I can tell you right now.
That's the best news I've had all night, that's great.
So the comments or questions that I have as far as these wells are, you touched on it already, Joe, about, we have, without these wells, we have about 200,000 gallons a day that would be available to us.
We have the whole 300,000 gallons a day until Amy's opens.
Right.
Once Amy's opens, we've guaranteed them 100,000 of the 200, of the 300,000.
So there's
200,000 gallons a day of water for that industrial district.
Do we have any idea of what our need is for that particular corridor?
We are working on it right now. We know the county is approximately 10,000 gallons a day. I haven't gotten the number from BOCES yet. Everybody else along there, we haven't built the warehouses yet, so we don't know what their requirement is going to be.
Usually pretty low. though.
Low,
Yeah.
correct.
Warehouses,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Well, one of them's a manufacturing facility. You're gonna have 85 employees there, so there'll be some draw there.
So it would appear to me then that
Plus the hotel, if that comes through.
The hotel, if that comes through, correct.
Sorry, George.
So I mean, just generally speaking, is the $200,000 from what you just described there basically going to be used up?
200,000 gallons a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
It's going to be
absolutely.
used up by these different facilities.
Sure, but as I said, George, it's a 12-inch line. It'll give us 1.2 million gallons a day.
Right, but the agreement now is the 350, and I think you had said something about it could be increased.
Could be increased.
Right,
yeah.
okay. So then would it be correct to say then that the lip-off wells are going to be a supplement?
Supplement, backup. Yeah,
And maybe never used?
maybe, right, maybe never used.
Can we sell those, flip those?
Well, part of the other thing too is, part of the other issue here is, I mean, it's not a lot of money, first of all. Second of all, we're protecting more of those wells that are being used, at least never being used by somebody who's not going to do the right thing. If we have to use them, they're gonna be treated, that's gonna be potable water. So yeah, it's more of an insurance policy right now.
And so then we get to the point where we purchase it and we're gonna be using some of the lip-off wells. You have to build a filtration plant,
Correct.
a house or something like that. And as far as I know, if it's a municipal water source,
Mhm.
it's gonna be continually tested.
Correct.
I mean, on-
J-
on a-
JCO will be there, or whoever at the
On
time.
a constant basis, so then if lead or if anything else rears its head, I guess.
Treatment for it,
I guess, treatment for it, or it would have to be shut down.
shut down.
Right?
Correct.
Okay. And we have a lot of other, I mean, one of the reasons why this was started and all was the people like Milmar, right?
Mhm.
I mean, they're gonna be using this water,
Correct.
right?
The Milmar-
And Healy's,
Correct.
and, you know, that.
The whole corridor there.
Yeah.
The warehouses, Dunkin' Donuts now comes back into play if we get water and sewer.
Mhm.
They stopped their project because without water and sewer, they can't do what they need to do there.
Right.
And then the county is gonna be our largest customer. The county's gonna be our largest customer because the line they have going to Florida, the Village of Florida has terminated that contract as of 2025.
Right. Okay.
Anything else? All right, so what do we need to do? I don't have it up here for a vote, but we don't have to have it up here for a vote. So we can go ahead and vote on this, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. It's conditioned upon the statements I made at the
Right.
beginning.
So can I have a motion so that the town can purchase these two parcels with the conditional changes that we discussed about today, once they are determined by the attorneys and approved by our attorney?
Correct. That's
That motion?
so moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Well, need a roll call?
Roll call.
Okay, George?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye, Doug?
No.
All right, so passes 3-1. All right, next item on the agenda, discuss and approve the salvage of the 2010 Chevy Tahoe VIN number used by the building department. So it's what we did was, we didn't purchase a new vehicle. We retired one of the police vehicles that only had 90,000 miles on it. We made that car a town building inspector's car, and now we can retire retire that Chevy Tahoe that needs a tremendous amount of work. All right, any discussion on that?
No.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve the salvage of the 2010 Chevy Tahoe.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Alright.
All right. All right, we're gonna cancel the public hearing regarding SR 94, the joint one, the Light Star.
Yes.
So can I have a motion to go ahead and cancel that public hearing?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Alright.
So that's gonna be rescheduled.
Rescheduled, yeah, I think it's gonna be rescheduled
And
jointly,
it's gotta
or?
go before the planning board again, so they'll determine when they're ready for that joint. But I put the special permit in your mailboxes tonight, that will be discussed.
For information purposes, for everybody that lives in the town of Goshen, Police Chief James Watt is retiring from the village after 42 years of service. And the village has just appointed Brian Rich, the sergeant for many years, as the new chief. That'll happen on, what, Mary, December 31st?
December 31st.
So we'll send a letter thanking them for both of their service. All right, on to finance. Discuss and approve a motion to authorize the supervisor to pay accounts payable run for December 14, 2023 in the amount of $904,375.76. Have that motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Alright.
Discuss and approve a motion to authorize the supervisor to pay manual AP run as of 11/30 in the amount of $856,266. Have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss and approve the 2023 year-to-date budget transfers as of 12/14. Christine had to go ahead and move some money out of New York class to cover the $904,000 payments that we made. So, do I have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Alright.
All right, just information purposes, our budget officer performed an accounts payable review for November 27th. It's attached. Anybody have any questions on that?
Nope.
All right, so at this point, the privilege of the floor. Tom?
Can you confirm that the the speed limit signs were approved?
And per.
Yes,
And now
Well,
we're-
they haven't been installed yet.
Which,
The 25-mile-an-hour speed limit is for heritage.
you got approval on that? I didn't get anything back yet.
Oh, I thought it was approved by the state DOT. I thought Brad told me there was.
That, they might have, it didn't come to me. I've been
Okay.
trying to find
I'll
that out.
verify, but I'm almost positive Brad told me it was approved. I know we ordered the signs.
Oh, well then, that's great. That just takes a big thing off of my plate. So I've been thanks for
Tom, I'll
asking
verify
that.
tomorrow with Brad.
Did we get, by the way,
Are you, I'm sorry.
talking about that, the one we did for Houston Road, has that been approved?
Oh,
I didn't,
I'm sorry. We need to set the public hearing, right? Left it off the agenda by accident.
For what?
what is,
For introductory law 12 here in Houston Road, the weight limit.
Oh, okay.
No, that's another one, I was talking about the speed limit, about 3 or 4 months ago, we went from 40 to 35.
6 months ago, we were talking about heritage and apparently they may have, this is news to me. I've been
I will
calling,
verify it tomorrow. I'm almost positive Brad told me that they approved the 25.
we ordered signs, so I don't know if that's.
Well, because they, very rarely do they say no, but we have the ability, just as the town, to go to 25 miles an hour.
I just,
I don't have an answer for you, but I will find out along with you. So, I don't have an answer for you either,
and
Doug.
trying to find out the one on that one too.
Yeah, I did make calls this week and I was anticipating that question. I was not anticipating that answer.
Well, I
So.
think with the amount of tickets we're running on there, we should leave it at 30.
Okay, get the revenue
The
up.
revenue.
Gotta pay for those bills. Do you wanna, Mary, do you wanna add that to the,
Yeah.
Well,
what?
after we're done with privilege of the floor, we'll go in and add those to the public hearing.
Thank you.
Right, for the weight.
Okay,
And the
I'm gonna
weight
let you-
limit, and the weight limit to down to 5 tons, that'll be same.
that's what we're
We're
talking
That's what I'm
about.
talking
Hearing. We have to
So,
have a public hearing.
But to clarify, yes, I'll get, someone will get answers for you on that. I thought it was gonna be me, but.
I think we should do that before privilege of the floor, Joe. I'm
I
sorry.
started privilege of the floor. You want me to close it and then start it again?
You didn't open it.
I did.
It never even happened. So
Never
ask the question
Tom, ask that
again when we
question
get
again.
back to privilege of the floor, and I'll have a great
Oh,
answer
yeah.
for you.
So will I. All right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Tom.
Do you have
Okay,
the status
finish
of the
privilege
speed
of the the floor.
No, go ahead, I'll open it back up, and we'll start all over again. So so we need to set a public hearing for introductory law number 12?
Well,
Well, that's the weight limit.
Weight limit on
Weight
Houston
limit.
Road.
Yeah.
All right.
And what was in front of you guys last time, and it's basically, what it will show is a grid of the roads that have that, similar to when we did the stop intersection sign. I don't know why I'm looking at you, but that's really trying to look at you, but you put your head down.
But no, truly, if you look at all, we have so many roads, it's 5 tons.
Yeah.
And my concern for the public, this road is we've got 4 subdivisions on that road, lots of children, lots of school buses, and it's got hills like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And I live right there, so they've seen these triple axle tractor trailers go over the top, and they can hit a bus or a car with kids all over the
Yeah.
place. So
Any of
that
those cut-through streets.
That 5 tons is more important there than it is on some of the
Yeah.
others.
I don't disagree,
Yeah.
so.
And from Rod's perspective, they're destroying the road.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean,
Destroying
especially
the road.
coming into this time of year, it's like,
Yep.
the song. So,
So
I gotta set it down, it does have to go, it's gonna be one that I'm sending out, so I gotta have 30 days.
30 days,
Yeah.
okay, so could I have, so what would that date be, Mary? January 22nd? January 11th?
2 weeks after the meeting
the
that you already
25th.
said.
We'll do it, we won't do it with the water consolidation, we'll do it January 25th.
Yeah.
So could I have a motion
Two
to
weeks
set a public hearing for introductory law number 12 on January 25th?
At 7 PM, or as soon
At
thereafter.
7 PM.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Privilege of floor, Tom, your question?
Could you
Got
explain
another
the
question?
status of the speed limit in Heritage?
No, I'm gonna defer to the supervisor.
Listen, I will find that answer out for you tomorrow.
Unbelievable. Well, I hope you're right, because I didn't get it.
I'm almost positive we discussed it, I thought he said it was. Any other comments from the floor? Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can you just identify yourself, I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm Dr. Veit. I live in Goshen on Somerville Road, right off Arcadia. And your recent discussion reminded me of something. Most of you have probably done that hairpin turn off of 94 onto Arcadia.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's tricky. Is there any way, I know it's a state highway, so there are problems there, but could a sign go up that says slow down, hairpin turn, and/or right, and they did a beautiful job on Arcadia Road. They repainted it, it looks great. You put the yellow lines, it's terrific.
Mhm.
But when you come around that hairpin, there's a difference of about that much, whatever this is,
The lip.
distance from the new asphalt, which looks beautiful, to the ground. And as you're coming around there,
So
especially in the winter, it's gonna be very.
what's higher?
The road's higher.
Arcadia Road is higher than 94?
No,
On the
wait,
side, the shoulder.
on the turn, one shoulder
shoulder.
turn,
Yeah.
on the shoulder, it's about that height difference. And my concern is making that kind of tricky turn, anytime is tricky, but in the winter, in the dark, it might be easy for somebody to get in that, I'll call it a ditch, you know, that difference of that height. Is there any way to even that out?
So when I'm finding out Tom's answer tomorrow, I'll also ask Broderick to take a ride out there with me and see if we can figure that out.
Yeah, just
Okay.
take
That should be the
slow.
easy fix.
What's that?
I think that should be the easy fix.
I hope so. And this,
Yeah.
another thing about Arcadia, which I love living
Flat,
there,
not looking at.
you know, the hills and valleys and this and that. Every once in a while, and God bless them, they're making money. The lawn people are doing their job. But I can be driving towards the hill. Near the top of the hill is the lawn, is their truck.
And the cars
And I
coming
have
the other
no
way.
idea what's
What's
coming.
coming the other
And
way.
people are driving 50, 60.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a, pardon my word, a crapshoot sometimes going over there. Is there a way to say, hey, if you're gonna leave your truck on the street, maybe on certain roads, maybe not, you know, maybe park it on somebody's property?
Yes.
Because to me, it's a little spooky. I don't know if, maybe I'm a scaredy cat.
Yeah, I mean, parking on somebody else's property is difficult because you got that swell there. I mean, I live on Arcadia, so
Yeah.
right in front of my, and it's mostly the guy that's doing my lawn that does it, so I know.
Oh, we can fix that.
It's a tough swell there, he can't pull up on the wall.
Yeah, and, you know.
But, you know, I'll tell my guy to make sure he's below.
I know they're
My
trying to
property
make a
instead of
living,
above
God
us.
bless them. The other thing, could I change topics, and I'll try to be quick? Okay, I wanted to know, and last time I was here in May, I was talking and asking about the Airbnb issue, short-term rentals. And I'm wondering, I have some questions, and could I go through them? And I was wondering if any progress or updates, because since May and what's going on and what's happening.
You want us to
One
address
thing-
them one at a time?
If you'd like me to go, I can go through them.
How would you like it? Because you're gonna answer that.
I'll try to be fast.
Oh, you don't have answers on this one?
It's a tough
I was
one.
just kidding. Sorry, that was.
Here's that.
That's okay.
I know, you got me going early, Doug. It's on you a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I would say.
The other day, after reporting the noise, et cetera, 2:30 in the morning, and the police are very
Is
good.
this the
They-
same
they come-
place?
Same place,
Same place.
7 Somerville. Anyway, and by the way, the owner doesn't live there, he's absentee owner. But anyway, and I asked the police, you know, when they come and they tell them, calm it down, it's 2:30 in the morning, they get that warning, are they getting a fine too? Because I know we've said we're gonna go after them with heavy fines, heavy penalties, and they seem to say, not really. And I said, well, I'm not telling you what to do, but if you're gonna if you come to that house and it's 2:30 in the morning and people are complaining about it, who live there, and you don't fine them, well, first of all, I think they should be fined, and second of all, I would fine the owner, because the people renting are gonna leave in 2 days and they don't give a darn. But it might start affecting the owner. Garbage too, I think, that could be dealt with.
I thought I took care of that. They said there were extra cans out there.
They did.
I
but they're-
contacted
but
IWS directly.
It's better than it used to be.
Okay.
That's the garbage part, but it
Mhm.
isn't always that way. And dirty diapers. Over the summer, multiple times, there were dirty used diapers on the street and on the edge of the property there. And I know the rule here is you give them 7 days from when I'm told to move it. I called up the health department in Middletown, and they said they want it done in a day. I'm wondering if that happens again, whatever the garbage may be, and I'm not talking about homes where people live there, it's their home. I'm talking about a business or a little hotel, which that is, next door. Will they get fined for that too? And my feeling is, my background is healthcare. I think leaving dirty diapers on the street in 95-degree weather is not good for the public health. It's terrible, and even garbage. And I wish there was a way to move faster, but I hope the fines are increased for this. I hope they're applying the fines to the owners. And now, and I wonder too, I'm on a roll, sorry, New York City, you know, one of the things they passed, and I know they're being sued for it, and I guess that's stopping us to a point, is that the owner has to live in the residence when the renters are there. And I think one reason that's a good rule is because I think there'll be more control over garbage and noise and diapers and all that stuff, because people come there, I get it, they want to have fun, they have some drinks, they don't care. And speaking of which, one night I'm walking my dog on my property and in the street, I don't let her run, and some guys were next door, who knows how many, 10, 15, drinking, which people do, rowdy, and I'm out there walking the dog, and all of a sudden I have somebody, to me it was aggressive, shouting at me, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing there? Stay away from my park." Now, I don't know, because it's a B&B, that's not my nice neighbor for 20 years. I don't know who that is. I don't know if they're angry, I don't know if they're violent, I don't know if they've been drinking. So I didn't say a darn thing. I quickly went to my house. I didn't report it, but what do you do in a case like that?
Report it.
Report it?
Call the
Okay,
police.
is that a reportable
Call the police
offense
immediately.
if somebody does that? Because,
Well, you felt in danger in your property.
well,
Call
I
the
did,
police.
yeah. Okay, so, okay, that helps me too. The other thing what about fireworks? A couple weeks ago, one of the rental groups, he said, "I'm gonna light some fireworks, just sparklers,
Call
on
the
my
police.
property." I said, "I don't care, go ahead." course, the skyrockets that you didn't mention came over into my property. One right next to my propane tank. And I have them as evidence at home if you need it. But what about that? Is that something for the police, and would a fine be
Fireworks are
issued?
Fireworks are illegal in the town of
Right.
Goshen.
And what about if they happen to go on your property and it's not, is that an extra or something or not?
I would say don't give them permission the next time they ask you.
Oh, they just said, you're right, but I didn't say that. They said sparklers.
You limited it, yeah.
They said sparklers. And it's
Fireworks
not,
are illegal in the town of Goshen. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, the police department might be a little lax around the 4th of July.
right,
But anytime other than the 4th of July,
right.
they will issue tickets.
Okay, and fines, good. And that'll go to the owner again,
Yeah,
or?
well, everything goes to the owner, not
renters?
the people that live in
Good.
it.
I think,
May I ask, have you heard any feedback from the owner?
I speak to him occasionally.
Okay.
I just want to add something real quick.
Go ahead.
Before that,
Go ahead.
because you hit a bunch of things, but
Yeah,
I think one of the things that happens is when there's like minor things, and I'm not discounting them
no,
because
I
it's next
know
to
what you
you,
mean.
like quantity versus quality type
Right.
things. I don't want to call on that because I don't want to bother them. There's bigger fish to fry type thing, but you got to make it enough to be the big fish, right? So you got to call.
Right. and-
Okay, I just say, if you think,
Okay.
should I call, that means you should call.
Yeah, well.
That's the way I would look at it.
I want to call my wife and say, don't do that, they'll slash your tires. Or.
I'm not gonna tell you how you should handle that.
I,
All right,
that's,
'cause
that's for.
that
the
would lead you to a
divorce
different type of
court. That's what
attorney.
that's
Yeah,
for,
I was gonna
exactly.
say,
So that's okay, thank you.
But that's real, I mean, I think that's
I
one of
got
the
you.
things that the residents, no one wants to bother.
Right.
But then then there's,
It
it's
keeps
gotta be.
going,
Yeah.
So I've started to, and if I see a report, but anyway, another thing is, that motel next door has a pool. And I'm wondering if health-wise, health department, like the Dirty Diapers, is anybody checking the chemistry in that pool periodically, because that's a business. That's a
Is
little
the pool open in the
motel.
summertime? Are
Excuse
people
me?
in the pool in the summertime?
They have a pool, which is one
But are
of the
people
draws.
in it? I'm asking.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw people,
They are.
people in it, they go in it. I have my pool, I wouldn't go in the pool if I know it's been tested regularly and things like that, because I know how things can happen. Is that something where business pools, wrong phrase, pools that businesses own, that people pay to go into,
The
are
Board
they
of
checked?
Health, the Board of Health has a responsibility, if it's a public pool, to monitor it and show up twice a year.
At the, from
But that's not a public
Middletown?
pool, that's the problem.
Okay, yeah, because I think the
So we
issue
need an
is,
acknowledgement from us
It's a-
that we agree that Airbnbs are okay.
yeah, because, I agree with you, because, they make the difference between a public pool itself and, which is a business, and a motel, which is a business, but if a house is used as a business, even though the owner doesn't live there, I would define it differently, but that's not my job. I would think that should be tested too, another thing for the homeowner to have to maybe worry about. I'm just about over, sorry, you've been very patient with me. Just wondering, with the regulations, with the lawsuits going on, again, I go to New York City, who's, I think, made some nice rules about it. How are we getting close to that at all? Where like New York City, they say the owner has to live there and be present when the guests are there. And I think that'll do two things. I think it'll maybe cut down on the different people coming in and out all the time, and maybe make less problems, because the owner will be there and maybe, hey, you can't make that mess, you can't scream at 2 in the morning, you can't put diapers in the street. Seems like, I'm just wondering how we're coming along, because it's been a while. I know it's a difficult thing.
No, I want to give you an update.
Thank you.
I also want to tell the supervisor to stop clicking his pen. 'Cause it's-
You really hear that?
You gotta find him.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
I'm working on it. All right,
That's
so,
when I know I'm bored.
no, it's he's thinking. That's what's going on. That's to let you know.
Go ahead, sorry.
So, updates. As to the New York City situation or the comparison,
Yeah.
we do have, we put in on the books short-term rentals, which was tied to the hotel tax. So there was a process to getting to what, there's one last piece, which is to tighten up the mechanism, not mechanism, but the enforcement portion of a violation of short-term rental. So right now, we have a B&B section in our code, we have short-term rental section in our code. So anything that we had to put something in there for folks that rent their houses out, right? And so we had to clarify something that would, what a short-term rental was. That led to being able to then enforce the hotel tax. And the last piece of the puzzle is, if you don't come before the proper, if you don't follow the proper procedure to qualify for a B&B or a hotel or whatever type of short-term rental, how do we punish? What's the punitive nature of it? And the problem we had with the Airbnbs, which to bring you back to that time, was they're gone by the time it's not like fixing a roof on a shed that's out of code, right? So that time period had to be tightened up, which took a little bit of time of research to find out whether you can have a zero, like a noise thing. If it's too loud, maybe you get a slap on the wrist the first time, but it's an instant thing, right? We don't let you, all right, you got 30 minutes to turn down that, it's instant, right? So the mechanism, we had to make sure that the mechanism could be enforced like that.
Right.
That was the last piece of the puzzle. So it is active right now. Where I'm a little hesitant to answer is that there's an additional attorney involved with, well, there's a few that the town employs. One in particular handles the prosecution of our traffic violations and our code violations. So there's a give and take here, because I handle the local laws and the putting things on the books, but there's another party in play who handles the enforcement of it, and it's kind of making sure that it's enforceable, and the person that enforces it has to make sure that that they're good with it, that it's enforceable. It's one thing for me to call something and say, you can't do this, and this is what happens if you do that, but it's got to be something that can be carried out.
Right.
So
and on the books.
And everybody's been patient, and especially at least the two of you that are in that area, and I know a few others that are in that area, because that's our prime violator on this. So
that's great. Hey, thank you for that.
So we're
Could I ask you this?
Yeah.
Related to that, then, are you closer to a rule or zoning change or whatever is done to say, like New York, owner has to be there?
Well, I'm not familiar enough exactly with what you're saying. I'm aware of the lawsuits, but I think for the purposes of, I'm not going to answer that because it's a little unclear, but I'll say that there's one last piece, which is enforcement, and we're close to that. So the owner has to be there, because you can't have it rented out like over a weekend like that. It gets tricky though, because unless they're advertising it, that's the other part, is how do we know it's an Airbnb and it's not just a gathering, right? I know you can say that's a lot of gatherings, right?
Yeah.
But do you understand where I'm coming from with that? Because if we selectively enforce just based on calls, and the cops show up every time there's people over, then anybody who has a graduation party could look like an Airbnb, right, for the weekend. I know that's an extreme example, but
when they're questioned, wouldn't they find out, whoever does the questioning or looks into it, that, you're not, this isn't a short-term rental that you rent out?
All I'm saying is, without it, if someone's not being egregious, right, and I'm giving extreme examples, but if someone's not being egregious, right, there's just a lot of people in their house, say you had that, and the cops show up because someone thinks it's an Airbnb, how would you feel?
I say this isn't an Airbnb.
Okay, so it happens every time though, right? So it's I don't know, we're trying to figure out the right way
to word it,
where it's easy when someone advertises it. They're like leading us right to it, which is where,
well, he advertises it all the time.
That one's easy.
That's
all I'm trying to, but I don't, paralysis by analysis can be a problem too. So we're gonna get something on the books.
I hope we can get there, really.
I wish that it happened quicker, like a lot of things, but it hasn't, so
I could be wrong about the New York stuff, but I got that off of the newspapers, and Gmail.
But we have that, like, it doesn't, that part, I think I don't wanna say apples and oranges, I just don't know that we even need the owner there. It's like, if we don't approve it, and you're renting it out on a short-term basis, you're in violation, whether you're there or not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't,
No.
it's about the business, and then one of the other ways they can get hit that we're talking about is, you're making money in this town and you're not approved to make it, then you're gonna be taxed on it too. He's operating and he's subject to tax, so.
He's getting depreciation on everything.
He's subject to changing the assessment on his property.
Right.
It's now a commercial property, not a residential property. He's subject to taxation on the local law that we passed for collection of fees.
Yeah.
He's subject to Board of Health review on anything that he has that the public is using.
Right.
He's subject to Board of Health review on the size of his septic and his well.
Right.
Can the septic system handle 18 people?
12 people.
So there's a lot of things that are gonna go.
That's
You
probably why the
One
diapers are
day
going in the
shoot up,
street,
huh?
because of the.
Restore
know,
oil.
unfortunately, the municipal wheels are very slow in turning, but when we get there, we're
I
gonna
know.
get there.
I know.
And then we're gonna, believe me, we are doing it now with people that are illegally dumping in the town of Goshen.
I will say this, and maybe because it's my circumstance with the person next to me in that house, but the idea of having the owner having to be there, to me, makes it safer for the neighbors, makes it not as loud, not as noisy, and I truly think it's not just us coming up with that, again, other cities are doing
But
that.
we're not even approving the Airbnbs, that's the
We're
thing,
not.
that's what the
If you
Airbnbs.
can knock that off, that'd be even better.
Well, that's
Well,
why
that's what
I
we're
keep cutting you off about that.
Oh,
I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't think it's a good idea or bad idea. We're not
I
even
got
at
you.
approving Airbnbs or the mechanism if we approve it. That's whether that even comes up. So that's why I'm pulling you back. to
I
that.
get you, thank you.
Okay.
The only other comment is, they call it an Airbnb, there's no breakfast.
Yeah, no, I don't
They
even know.
should
what
leave
the
out the
B&B
breakfast
It's
part.
a verbo.
I had one guy complain, they complained to me, the people that do this, there were no dishes, there were no towels. This guy said, he spent $2,000 to buy linens and all this stuff, and pots and pans,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna sue the owner and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, it's not my business. But anyway,
Yeah. So
thank you for your
No, I appreciate your
explaining
patience. I know, in particular, you guys are taking the brunt of it. So
that.
that's tough.
Yeah, I'm just afraid other people will too.
The goal would be to get it done before the summer hits and the Legoland stuff. That'd be
That'd be cool.
I think that's where.
And thanks for listening to me going on.
I didn't have a choice.
Good job.
Thanks for getting me a couple extra bucks.
Hey, you got overtime.
Yeah, thanks.
Cost me $100.
This was a plant, by the way.
We'll settle later. 10%, you said?
Yeah, no doubt.
You called him tonight after you bet me $100, right? You told him to come down.
Yeah. We had him talk before.
Don't even
Any other
start.
comments? Any other
For the
comments?
meeting, you're gonna miss.
One last comment. Did they find digging all that up, Jimmy Hopper?
No, they did not.
Addison.
Joe, I just wanted to, for my own memory, this solar farm, the Light Star, that's the one down 94?
We're 94, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, let's slow it down 94. All right, any other comments, concerns? All right, so I have a motion to close the December 14th meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.